Now, a few of you pen friends have requested that I do a currently inked video sharing what I plan on using for the upcoming week or the upcoming month. So this is pretty much what I will be using for this upcoming week with my newest addition, the Hongdian M2. You guys, I am loving this pen. I was writing with it all evening and pretty much all this morning. I actually changed it out though. I think in my last video, oh, by the way, I have to give a proper thank you in my video 2 videos back titled, They Call It Cheap, I Call It Affordable. I gave my thanks and my appreciation in my last Hongdian video, but I realized I actually cut it out while I was editing it. So thank you all that have commented or just responded in some way, whether it's a thumbs up, whether it's through you supporting and subscribing or messaging me. Thank you. Yes, I took the time to read all of your comments, all of your DMs, all of your messages. So heartfelt thank you. I just needed to put that out there. All right, the Hongdian. I'm really enjoying this, but I have switched it out. In the last video, I had it in the Hongdian Black. I am really liking these inks. I mean, this is a really good classic black. It comes out really bold. I actually have a pen here inked in the bluish gray, so I'll show you what that looks like. But this has been switched out. I think the ink that I have is very fitting. Let me know. But it was actually inspired by my Pilot Vanishing Point. In that video I shared, I think it was my last video, I was going through my whole Jinhao collection, and I shared how I had this inked with the Diamine Desert Burst. So let me show you. I have it. Actually, I did a proper right here. By the way, I have some swatch cards and I have new inks that I'm excited to share with you, but that will be for the next video. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Okay, so the Desert Burst, I had it in this Pilot Vanishing Point fine nib. I really enjoyed it, and as I was going through my log here, I wanted to experiment with something different because I already have my Hongdian Black in my Jinhao 10, and I have all these samples. Might as well use them. I think I shared this in the last video. I did a little swatch test, so let me do it like this. It comes out like a very dark, like sandy yellow. It's not as dark as a brown, but it's not as light as a yellow. The best way to describe this would be, well, what do you think? It's just perfect. It does lean more on the brown side, however, but without the yellow tint, if that makes, or I can't explain it. It just looks like this. I think it's the best of both worlds. It has brown and yellow combined, and this is what it turns out to be. And that's what I have this Hongdian M2 inked in. This is the ideal pairing, and I actually got this as a sample. Not received it like for free, but I paid for this. Like I paid for this on truefeinc.com, their website, and they offer these 5 ml samples for purchase. And some of you may have remembered I shared this, the Diamine Desert Burst. I added this to my cart. I mean, you can see the 5 ml is halfway through already. And surprisingly, I really like this in my Pilot. Even though this is a fine, I thought, wow, how would this look in a medium? Well, technically, this Hongdian is fine, but these Hongdian pens and Jinhaos, their fine really leans more medium. So here I did a swatch. Oh, I did actually have this inked with ancient copper. I saw one of you commented in my last Hongdian video, and yeah, it was beautiful. I actually had this inked up right after the black. So I did the black test, I did the ancient copper, but then I remembered, wait a second, I really want to try this desert burst, and I'm here for it. I look how thick that line comes out. I mean, it's thick like to my preference, and this is a fine. Do you see how beautiful? Okay, this color is cream, so let me use my Cosmo Air. So here was the Pilot's Hello, and then you can see the like you can see it's thicker. Yeah. So this is what I have it currently inked with, Diamond's Desert Burst. But you know what's so nice about websites that offer samples? You're not breaking the bank. You're not having to invest in, you know, a $20 bottle to find out that maybe you don't like the way it looks or the way it writes. And these, depending on the size that you get, I mean, they vary from maybe $2 to $5, but I find that this is a great way to explore, to see what your preferences are. And one thing that I have realized, I don't like shimmer in my ink. Like you think I would, because I do like a little bit of sparkle and bling on some of my pens that I have, kind of like this Jinhao, the coffee, and then this Jinhao clear body has like a little bit of glitz. Like that, I don't mind, because it's not coming out on my paper glitzy and shimmery. I find it too distracting for my senses at this time. Who knows? That could change. If I'm doing like a little header in the shimmer ink, that's fine, or like one little quote, but I don't know. And I think I even, on these samples, I put a little star next to these because I will most likely just use them for like paint sessions. But these samples are a great way to find out what you do and what you don't like. And I realized very quickly I don't like shimmer or glitter. Sheening is fine, but the glitter specks, I don't like that. All right, so Desert Burst is what I have currently inked in my M2 and what I'll be using for this week. You guys have asked if it's heavy. I in my last video, I weighed it for you. Oh, you know what? I should do it. Oh my gosh, that reminds me. Let me get my scale and show you what it weighs in grams. One moment. Okay, so that was some very good, solid advice. One of you commented saying that I should do these in grams instead of ounces, so thank you. That was very helpful. All right, so the M2, the Hongdian M2, it is 39 grams with the cap. If you don't post it, which I think you should, I mean, you don't need to, but I think that adds to the appeal, the heft to it. Without it, it's 21 grams. If we compare it to a Jinhao, the Jinhao 10, which also I have really been enjoying, this gold one, just to show you the similarities, because a few of you wanted a close-up. In person, yes, the Jinhao 10 in their gold, it does have more of a yellow, kind of like gold tint, and as you can see, the Hongdian has like that brassy tint, so you can see the difference. But I mentioned in my last video, when you actually have this posted, the Hongdian, it feels, the size is comparable to the Hongdian minus the clicker. So if you already have the Jinhao 10 and you're wondering if this Hongdian will be too small or maybe like too big, well, mainly too small because it's a pocket, kind of like everyday carry pen, I think you will find it very familiar, because that's how I felt as soon as I put this in my hand. All right, so weighing the Jinhao, 33 grams. So it's actually, yeah, it's not that much heavier. Just, they're very, very comparable. And I like this clip here. Okay, so that is what I will be enjoying for this week. And what other pens will I be using? I have, okay, so I'm going to clean this out because again, this was in the Desert Burst, but now I really, really like it in this Hongdian nib. So, I mean, that was part of my lineup, but I'm going to put the Pilot to rest along with, I actually, you guys, this pen case is pretty much complete with my Jinhao collection. Or I should say my capless, or I should say like my vanishing point style. These are all in order from when I received them. So right here, this empty spot is where the gold will go, but I'm going to be using this. So currently inked this week is the gold Jinhao 10. I have this in the Hongdian black. I was using the Pilot cartridges from my earlier, unboxing videos and refilling them with the syringe, only because I had my, where is it? Let me show you, hold on. I was using my Heart of Darkness. This was my only black bottled ink that I had. And this bleeds through, I mean, unless you're using extra fine, which I have in my Meijin, I really do like that. It does bleed through your typical standard everyday type of paper. So I cannot use this Heart of Darkness at work or with any type of copy paper. Or when I was at the doctor's last week, I had to remember, oh yeah, no, I have to use a Hongdian. So the Hongdian did fine. It does well. And I really, really enjoyed it. Or enjoy it, I should say. I'm still using it. Oh, to give you an idea. Sorry, I'm bouncing around. It's just my mind gets kind of like carried away. I have so much to like catch up on from the messages I receive and just updates you guys wanted to know about. And I want to share with you something about these Jinhao 82s. But if you're curious to know how much a 5 mil, let me show it when that's full from my ink samples. Okay, right here. This is again from the website Truefei. If you're wondering, how much will 5 mil get me? I would say to compare it to these cartridges, these Pilot cartridges, you can get 5 of these because each one of these is 1 mil. So you can get 5, you can fill 5 of these easily. Or if you use the Twisbees, you could probably get like 2 good fills out of these. Because the Twisbee, depending on how much ink you draw in. So I think these are pretty fair to get samples. All right, so back to the Jinhao update real quick. I cleaned out my coffee one because now we're moving into summer and I'm definitely you're going to see this baby again come fall. But a lot of questions about this pink blush one. I think it's called Pink Gold. It's rose gold and it's a very sparkly champagne color. I got this on AliExpress. The link, I tried to share that with a lot of you, but it's currently sold out. I think a lot of you guys bottom up apparently. So it's sold out. I can't leave a direct link because it will just go to what they have available. But if you go on AliExpress, I purchased these pens, or this pen and the Gradient Gray from the same store. 365 days of stationery, I think it's called. Yeah, it's 365 and then they have days right after, like 365 days of stationery. So I haven't had any bad experiences. Like my stuff comes, it's a little, not delayed, but it takes a while, maybe like 10 days or so, but that's who I've used to get these two, the Gradient, and then all of these were on Amazon. But the next one that I have inked, I don't think I shared this in my last video. Look at this. It's a gray, okay, but it's that ribbed, like the ribbed version. Let me show you. Comparing it to, if you see, I just like this texture, this matte this matte black, and then I have the ribbed textured here in the gold, and then now I have the silver, just to show you. And then comparing it to my silver gin house, I really, really like this gradient gray. I really like this chrome. So you can see between the chrome doesn't have that, it's a different texture. It's kind of like these little waves. They're engraved in there with these ridges. Okay, so that's how it looks between the grays. I hope this, visual helps, because this is something, I would want to be curious about. Sometimes the pictures on the websites don't help or they're not accurate. I did have this inked with Wizard's pencil, but I've cleaned it out because, because I am going to enjoy this Hongdian ink, which is bluish gray. I also have their black green on the way, so thank you for your comment. I saw in the last video, my Hongdian M2, you recommended the Hongdian black green ink. You said it reminds you of the Diamine Twilight, so I looked it up. Yeah, beautiful. That's right up my alley. Definitely like that type of ink color family. So right now I'm waiting for that to come in the mail. It should come in a couple of days, and I'm going to share that swatch with my other new inks that I have from a store. Right now, bluish gray is what I have currently inked in the gray Jinhao 10. And just to show you, hold on, let me use, I don't have a proper, oh, I do have one right here on the Cosmo, the bluish gray. I think that's a beautiful blue. I don't really like bright blues, so this is perfect for my preference. So this is how it looks. You can definitely tell it's blue. See, I try to do these videos in my natural lighting when I get off from work, and I try to hold it up so you can really see it in the natural lighting. Yeah, so you can tell it's a beautiful blue color. If I am showing you just, on regular basic paper, you can see right here. Oh, that dried really quick on this paper. See, that's the thing with these Hongdian inks. I find them very paper friendly for your standard, just everyday paper. I haven't had any feathering or bleed through, and you guys, this paper is nothing special. It's top flight. I got this at my local grocery store, and this is my scratch pad where I just write down scrabbles and just errands and ideas. And I lost my page now, but this is the pen and gear. If you really want to maybe use your fountain pen on daily jottings, but you don't want to carry a big notebook, I'm always raving about these pen and gears. I discovered these 3-4 years ago, that these were fountain pen friendly, and they were only $1 at the time. I think now they're $1.37. But I mean, a lot of you guys want to see flip throughs of these, and this is an example of what it looks like. Nothing beautiful, aesthetic, or worthy of sharing. It's literally scribbles, okay? Scribbles of errands, items, sometimes video ideas. You guys don't need to see this mess, okay? It's messy. It's kind of like a junk drawer. You don't need to see people's junk drawers in the house. You just need to see the clean house. This is equivalent to my junk drawer. It just has a bunch of my thoughts just compiled and thrown in a notebook. But this paper holds up very well with fountain pen inks. Let me show you. Oh, some of you have asked me on Instagram if it is still fountain pen friendly, because yes, Walmart has changed the branding, and I was really worried that the paper quality changed. I was like, oh no, I should have stocked up on these. But Luckily, I mean, still made in India. So yes, even though the notebooks look different, the branding is slightly, what's it called? Like the design is different. The paper, luckily is still the same. So Jinhao test. And that's another thing too, with these Hongdians, with the Jinhaos, they don't dry up, or I don't have any hard starts. So I think maybe they work well together. It's just enough wetness where it's not too wet like Noodlers, and it's not too dry like maybe like Sailor ink, in my experience. So give those Hongdian inks a try. Very budget friendly. I think this is $9 for all of this ink. So that's what I have. Long story short, the what's it called? The bluish gray. Bluish gray. With that. And then Hongdian black with another Jinhao. How do I always get ink on my hands? It never fails. You guys, I always do a video for you guys and I always have ink on my hands. Hongdian black. Just to show you. Again, this isn't a fine. So you see how like nice and bold. Ooh, look at that swoosh. Nice and bold it comes out. And you know, this, I haven't used it since, I think like maybe mid-afternoon yesterday. So until I experience any hard starts with this, I would recommend it. The Hongdian ink with your Jinhao 10s. I mean, if you have other experiences, let me know. But yeah, give that a try. All right. So now, speaking of Hongdian black though, I am enjoying it in an actual Hongdian pen. This is the N12. And this is the pen that made me realize I actually like, or I don't really mind, a girthier grip section. Very comfortable. This is what I'm using in my long form journal entries. Because these Jinhaos, these are more like click and go. I have them in my daily planner. They're on the go. They're nice to just jot down real quick, in my little scribble notebooks. But for like long thought out entries, things that I'm writing like paragraph after paragraph, or if I'm doing a little bit of a light art journaling, this is what I'm using. The Hongdian purple. It's the N12. So just to show you. And again, even though this is a fine, it comes out pretty wet, which I like. But again, it could be the ink because it is the Hongdian black ink. Yeah, so that's what I am using. And then last but not least, I have the Jinhao 82. I will be using this only because I still have my Cacao do Brazil. And another perfect example, I had this in my cart for samples to try. I loved it right away. Look, I didn't even use up my sample. I loved it right away. I bought the bottle. I'm like, yep, I love it. I like it. It's beautiful. And it matches this body perfectly, the volcano gray. And I've even shared in right here my project journal, which is practicing my handwriting for 2025, which I will be doing that here with the Desert Burst and also with the Hongdian bluish gray. Next video, I will show you what the blackish green will look along with my new inks that I have from different brands. Oh yeah, sesame oil. Oh yeah, I do have the sesame oil in here. I won't be using it this week because, you know, I just want to have fun with the Desert Burst. So for art journaling, I'm just mainly going to be using the black, Cacao do Brazil, and the Desert Burst. Let me show you. Oh, right here. Okay, yeah. So here is the ink, how it looks. It's beautiful. It's like a dusty lilac brown gray. It's like those three colors. The way like my eye picks up this color, it's a brown gray lilac. And this is smokescreen to compare it. So I'm going to be having fun with this ink again, writing with it because I still have some in here and I don't want to waste it because I like this ink so much. Let me know, what do you do with your inks when you're ready to move on? I know you probably don't want to squeeze it, pour it back into the bottle, right? Because it can get like contaminated, I guess. But do you just use it all the way up or do you just clean it out? I guess it would depend on how much ink you have, right? For me, I like to use it all up. Maybe it's because I don't have a large ink collection at the moment. So I'm trying to preserve every little bit that I have. And this is what I will be using. Okay. Oh, what I wanted to share with you. Okay, so this is, I know someone's going to ask because I always get asked where this is from. This is by the Galen Company. They actually have, hold on, is there 4? I have a few of these. One of them holds 4. I don't know where it's at. One of them is only like the 4 holder, and that's the one that comes in a sleeve pouch. But these, some of you caught that it had 5, and you're like, where'd you get that? It's actually from their A6 size expansion pack that they sent me. So that's what I have, and they're actually magnetic. So these actually come out of the little pouch. Do I have it with me? Hold on, let me run real quick to my shelf here. Yeah, it's right. This one. So the one that comes with the 4, it's the slip and go. But if you had the 5, would it fit? No, it would not fit. So yeah, this is specifically made for the 4. And the 5 holders, it's from this pouch right here. So Galen sent this to me a while back, and I've shared this on my video because guess what? Because I like it. And yeah, I would recommend it. The case is very sturdy. This thing is detachable, and they did not ask me to actively promote it. They just gifted it to me, but I thought, hey, you know what? I do recommend it. If someone's looking for a gift or just to have within your collection, I like this updated version. Their older version, it was very tight if you zipped it up, and this newer version, it's made wider, or I should say like thicker. So when you actually have all of your fountain pens in here, you can still zip it up. And they have different colors. This is detachable. So when you see these, it's this Galen updated A6 zip folio. It's the 10 pen holder. Yeah. I don't use the pouch because I'm not taking 10 pens with me anywhere. I use them here. So that way they're not rolling around on my desk and I can see them all at a glance. But a budget friendly option if you do need to carry your pens, or if you're going to like a meetup, if you're going to a convention, if you just are hanging out at the cafe. These on Amazon, these little zip up pouches I've shared, they have a black, they have their like tan. This is this gray material, and these were like $9. Obviously they're not real, leather, but the elastic, I find it's just as durable and sturdy. They're not as long as the Galen, but I find they will do the job. And they still zip up. All right, what else to catch you guys up on real quick? Let me see. Oh yeah, so I meant to share with you my sailor, or not my sailor, my gin house that looked like this sailor program. I need to show you something. Maybe some of you already realized this, but I was having fun and I was like, ooh, I kind of like the way this looks. Okay, for the penning gear, real quick, because some of you have mentioned that you do like this paper, but you know that it, you can see right here, mine's kind of like getting a little bent up and beat up, and this cover is very, very flimsy, you guys. It's literally like a cardstock. Like I could bend it like right here, and yeah, it's pretty much already beat up, like if you put it in your bag or in your satchel. So my actual new favorite notebook that I've been using for I think like over a year and a half. I just don't share them because, to be honest, I'm kind of like hoarding these because they don't come out that often. And what I mean by they don't come out is my local Walgreens. I like this Wexford brand, but they don't always have the black. And every time I go to my local Walgreens, they have all the bright colors, like red. I had to settle for the red. Some of you may remember seeing it in my videos. My Patreon members, you guys know I've been sharing this. So my Wexford, I love this brand. They come in like blue, green, red, bright yellow, and then black. In my last trip, luckily they stocked some because you can get these on their website. The only thing is, it even says on the website, you will be randomly sent whatever color. You can't pick if you want black. So luckily my Walgreens, they stocked up, and yeah, this is the SKU if it helps. It has 200 pages or 100 sheets, and it's the same size as the penning gear. So you get 20 more sheets with the Wexford, but this cover is a lot more durable. You see it's like this, the plastic, and even the cardstock on the back, it's slightly thicker. So I would highly recommend this. You're paying about maybe 65 more cents with the Wexford. Walgreens, okay? Yes, I think you will enjoy that. Now, this, I almost said sailor. I meant gin house. That looked like sailor pens. One fun thing that I did, and I only changed it back just for this video because I didn't want anyone to get confused and think like, oh, is that a sailor pen? What is that new model? You can actually, did you know, you can actually take, oh wait, hold on, no. This part, on the cap, you can twist these off, okay? And you change them out. I know, it's not a big deal, but hey, little things in life make me happy. And this made me happy. I was like, oh my goodness, now I just kind of dazzled this up a little bit during the fall, you know, or yeah, fall. I mean, this could be like a spring, but I mean, how cute does that look? Isn't that cute? It just looks a little, I don't know, a little different. And then I'm sure you guys know you can change. I knew you could change these out only because the Jinhao 82s, they make other models like that, the different colors. But they don't make it with this milk tea coffee combination. So if you wanted to kind of switch things around here, imagine, wow. Look at that. How fun is that? And then if you cap it, or maybe if you like to, take photos and stage your photos, it would look like this against the little geeky things, right? I really like how this looks, like a little bonbon. these complement each other. So you can have fun doing that. I was hoping that maybe this part would come off, but it doesn't. So, but it's okay, because if you cap it, then it kind of would look like that. So you can have fun with these little Jinhaos. And then the nibs, you can change out the nibs, as I said in my other video. The milk tea at the time only came in the fine, and I realized I like it in the medium because they're fine. Surprisingly, for Jinhao 82s, they're fine to me, right like a fine. I much prefer a wetter nib, so I did get the medium, and it does write like a medium. And you can actually purchase their nibs separately. And all you do is just, you know, when you get them in the package, you just untwist the old one and you just twist in the new one. Can't wait to share with you the new inks that I have. They're very fun. I'm excited to try them, and I'd like to know, what type of inks are you using, or what would you recommend? Or maybe don't tell me, because then that will enable me to check it out, because my cart already has a few inks that some of you recommended. But yeah, stay tuned for the Hongdian ink update and my new inks that I have on the way.